A topic which a lot of German textbooks do not even mention, and I don't know why. The difference between German possessive pronouns and possessive articles. I know online you often find this term here, possessive pronomen, which usually refers to possessive article. This is not completely wrong, but there is a difference between those two, and it's worth knowing this difference. Possessive article is something you learn quite early on your German journey, on A1 already. Mein, dein, sein, and so on. And the possessive pronomen is something if you learn it in a textbook, then usually later. Now, since we already have quite a lot of videos about possessive article, you will find the links down in the description. We will focus more on possessive pronomen. So what is the difference exactly? Was ist der Unterschied? We start with possessive article. Like the name already mentions, it's an article. And an article always needs a noun. Always stands before a noun. Cannot stand alone. So comes before a noun. You know, indefinite articles, definite articles, and also possessive article. Possessive pronomen, they replace a noun and they can stand alone. And like as well, the name already mentions this pro in pronomen stands for, nomen is noun, so for a noun, so it replaces a noun. Machen wir ein einfaches Beispiel, a simple example. Was ist das? Was ist das? Das ist ein Stift. That's a pen. Now I want to make a sentence with this pen using a possessive article. Then I can say, das ist mein Stift. Das ist mein Stift. That's my pen. And now we want to make a sentence using a possessive pronomen. And it would look like this. Das ist meiner. Das ist meiner. That's mine. Now here you can also see the difference between article and pronomen. In article, possessive article, there is the noun mentioned, Stift. But the pronoun, there is no noun at all. So this possessive pronomen kind of combines the article, the possessive article, and the noun in one word. Now, since you most probably already know about possessive article, you know they also change according to case, gender, and number. Here we have nominative. Das ist mein Stift. Das ist im Nominativ. It's masculine because it's der Stift and it's singular. Possessive pronomen, they also declined depending on case, gender, and number. So here, same thing, nominative, masculine und singular, which becomes this meiner. But here you see there is a difference. Possessive article is mein, possessive pronomen is meiner. And more about those endings later in this video. First, a couple examples, ein paar Beispiele. And we do an example sentence, a short, easy one for each gender. Zuerst maskulin. Das ist mein Stuhl. Das ist mein Stuhl. That's my chair. Using a pronomen. Das ist meiner. Das ist meiner. That's mine. Neutrum. Ist das dein Auto? Ist das dein Auto? Or using a pronomen. Ist das deins? Ist das deins? Is this yours? Feminin. Das ist ihre Tasche. Das ist ihre Tasche. This is her bag. Using the pronoun. Das ist ihre. Das ist ihre. This is hers. Plural, sind das seine Schuhe? Sind das seine Schuhe? Are these his shoes? Or using the pronoun, sind das seine? Are these his? Another example, das ist Hans. Hans, he just found a cell phone. And then he asks, wem gehört das Handy? Wem gehört das Handy? Who does this cell phone belong to? Und das ist Lisa und Lisa sagt, oh, das ist meins. Danke. Das ist meins. Danke. This is mine. Thank you. Another situation. Zwei Frauen. Die erste Frau fragt, sind das deine Schuhe? Sind das deine Schuhe? Are these your shoes? Deine Schuhe. Hier ist ein Possessive Artikel, because there is a noun, Schuhe, right afterwards. And she says, the other woman says, nein, das sind seine. Nein, das sind seine. No, these are his shoes. And this seine hier ist ein Possessivpronomen. One more. Das da ist Max. Und Max sagt oder fragt, ist das dein Tablet? Ist das dein Tablet? Hier, dein ist ein Possessivartikel. Und die Frau antwortet, nein, das ist ihrs. Oder nein, das ist ihres. No, this is hers. That's her tablet. It's hers. Now here you see, I put this E in brackets here. Ihrs oder ihres. Both are okay. For spoken language, we usually use it without this E. So we just say ihrs. More official, more correct version is most probably this ihres, but both are okay. Thing is, you most probably will just use it in spoken language anyways. Those pronomen, those possessive pronomen are quite common in spoken German. So therefore, you can just use the shorter version, which is also more commonly used. 3 common situations when you use these pronouns. We talk about the possessive pronomen. First one is this, wem gehört? Wem gehört? Zum Beispiel, wem gehört der Stift? Who does this pen belong to? So whenever you ask who does something, whatever object you have, belong to, then usually answer, ja, das ist meiner. Das ist meiner. Oder das ist seiner. That's his. Second situation is if you can point or if you have the object in your hand and then you ask, ist das deiner? Because it's a pen, it's masculine, deiner. Or if it's a cell phone, here ist das deins, Handy. Ist das deins? Ist das deins? Is this yours? And then you say, ja, das ist meins. So in these situations where you have the object right with you, and then you just ask, instead of saying, ist das dein Handy? You just say, ist das deins? And number 3, comparisons. Zum Beispiel, dein Bild ist schöner als meins. Dein Bild ist schöner als meins. Your picture is more beautiful than mine. Or seine Wohnung ist größer als ihre. His apartment is bigger than hers. Of course, you can also say, dein Bild ist schöner als mein Bild, but it doesn't sound so nice if you repeat the same noun twice. So using this possessive pronomen here is not only commonly used, you will also sound better, sound more German. Here, just a quick overview to this English. So, Pronomen auf Deutsch, das meiner, deiner, seiner. In English is this mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and so on. So it's usually just this S, this added S. Now here, this example here, this pronomen in German is actually just for masculine nouns. But of course, German, as you know, has different gender and also a plural form. So this would look like this, a little bit more complicated. But here you can also see that there are different endings according to case and gender and so on. So now what about those endings? You could make tons of tables according to each case, nominative, accusative, dative, and according to each gender, masculine, neutrum, feminine, plural, and then you have a lot of different tables, which makes it kind of complicated. It's definitely worth to memorize the possessive articles, not the pronouns, the possessive articles with these kind of tables. Because the possessive articles is something you most probably will use more often. But for the pronouns, don't do this because most possessive pronouns look exactly like the possessive articles, which is good news. Let's take a noun, das Glas, which is neuter, neutral und singular. And we do a table just for dative case, which would look like this. So you have the person, ich, du, er, sie, es, and then the possessive article, meinem, deinem, seinen, and the possessive pronoun, which is also meinem, deinem, seinen, and so on. In a sentence, an example, du trinkst aus deinem Glas und ich aus meinem. Du trinkst aus deinem Glas und ich aus meinem. You drink out of your glass, I drink out of mine. And here we have a possessive article, which is deinem Glas, because there's the noun, and ich aus meinem, that's a possessive pronoun. But important here, what I want to show you is the endings. Endings are the same. Possessive article and possessive pronomen have the exact same ending. Another one. Let's take Kaffee. Der Kaffee is masculine und singular. And we use the table now with Akkusativ, which would look like this. And you can see here as well, the endings are exactly the same. Possessive article and possessive pronomen have the same endings. Und they look exactly the same. Zum Beispiel, ich trinke meinen Kaffee, trinkst du deinen nicht? Ich trinke meinen Kaffee, I drink my coffee, possessive article. Trinkst du deinen nicht? Trinkst du deinen nicht? Don't you drink yours? Or you drink yours? Are you not drinking yours? Possessive pronomen. Now let's keep this noun, but let's add a table with nominative. And here you can see that possessive article and possessive pronomen, they are not the same. Ein Beispielsatz, das ist mein Kaffee, wo ist deiner? Das ist mein Kaffee, wo ist deiner? This is my coffee, where is yours? Again, here they're not the same, right? So they are different. So, here are the ones you need to memorize. And there's actually only three situations where the possessive pronouns are not the same as the possessive articles. 2 situations in nominative case and 1 situation in accusative case. And the 2 situations in nominative case are for masculine nouns and for neuter nouns. So here the possessive pronouns, meiner, deiner, meins, deins, and so on. Possessive articles would be mein. Das ist mein Kaffee, das ist meiner. Das ist mein Handy, das ist meins. So here they're not the same. And also one special case here as well is this unseres und eures. There is an additional E in between the R and the S for neutral nouns. The third situation is in accusative and is also for neutral nouns. Meins, deins, seins, ihrs. So for accusative, for neutral nouns, the possessive pronouns are not the same like the possessive articles. So for example, ich habe mein Handy verkauft. Mein Handy is possessive article. Possessive pronomen would be ich habe meins verkauft. And this time you have again homework, Hausaufgaben. Write a sentence with a possessive article and a possessive pronoun. You can make easy sentences like, oh, das ist mein Handy, wo ist deins? Zum Beispiel, or you can make it a little bit more difficult. Gestern habe ich meinen Laptop verkauft. Hast du deinen noch? Yesterday I sold my laptop. Do you still have yours? For example. Write your sentence down in the comments. Looking forward to read those. Bonus tip. The endings are the same as the definite article. The endings are the same as the definite article. We talk about the possessive pronomen. We talk about the pronouns, right? So the possessive pronomens, the endings of the possessive pronomens are the same as the definite articles. Here an example in nominative. According to each gender, we have the articles, the definite articles, der Kaffee, das Auto, die Tasche und Plural, die Schuhe. Now we add possessive pronomen, which would look like this, meine, meins, meine und meine. And as you can see, same endings as the definite articles. Same goes for accusative. Den Kaffee, the rest is the same. Neutral, feminine, and plural doesn't change in accusative, same like in nominative. Possessivpronomen, den Kaffee, meinen. Ich trinke den Kaffee, ich trinke meinen. Here as well, always the same endings as the definite article. And the same goes for Dativ, dem Kaffee, dem Auto, der Tasche. And here as well, possessive pronomen, they have the same endings. Now in those examples here, always use the possessive pronomen mein, meinem, meiner, meinen, and so on. But of course, this rule of the definite article endings are the same like the possessive pronoun applies also to all the other ones, like you can see here on this table. So you have ich, meiner, then du, deiner, er, seiner. They always have the same endings as the definite article. It doesn't matter which person. And if you're wondering, wo ist der Genitiv? Where is the genitive case? Possessive pronomen do exist in genitive case as well, but don't bother learning them because you most probably will never see or use them. But this applies only to possessive pronomen, not possessive article. And if you think you are in the mood for some more endings, some more rules, then we have here a playlist about declension of adjectives, the worst topic most probably, or this playlist here, which is all about possessive article. Vielen Dank, bis zum nächsten Mal. I hope you learned something. Tschüss und bye bye.